How do I talk about that episode? Seriously, like, how the hell do I talk about everything that happened in that episode? I'm actually not gonna script this one, if that wasn't already obvious, because I think that with everything that happened in this episode and the way it went, going into it pretty much purely just off of my raw thoughts on it would be the best way to go about this. That's right, I am going to raw dog this review, as the cool kids would say. Once again, this is not going to be scene by scene. Maybe it'll be a little bit, but oof, yeah. This episode starts with a content warning, and my god, does it earn it. Seriously. I just want to say right now, folks, if you're going through anything, if you're having a hard time, and we all have hard times, talk to someone. Open up to someone. It gets better. I swear to you it does. It's okay. It's okay to feel that moment of, I don't want to call it weakness, just hardship. It's alright, really, it is. But, getting back to the topic at hand, so obviously we open up with Ruby running away from everyone else, pick up pretty much where the last episode leaves off. She's running through the paper forest, I guess, and she stops by a tree, and she just, well, is continuing her breakdown. She's lost all hope, effectively, and she just doesn't know what to do anymore. Little, of course, does his best, or does their best, to comfort her, to tell her that it's going to be okay, that they're there for her, and that they can go back to her friends, but Ruby's just not in a place to hear it right now. And she tells Ruby to go away, or they're going to die too, and I really hate foreshadowing sometimes. But Ruby runs off by herself, and at some point, she just crosses from the bridge from the Paper People's Acre into the Jabberwalker's Acre. And what does she see when she gets there? But a big ol' pink mansion. We all know who made that. Ruby walks into what is, I guess now, Neo's home, and yeah, Neo just starts playing some serious mind games with her, like, big time. Also, Roman Holiday is now pretty much canon at this point, so that's good, but Whew, yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. And we see Roman again. We do see Roman again. A lot of people I know were very excited to see Roman again. Personally, I was never the biggest fan of Roman or of Neo, to be entirely fair with you guys. They were both kind of massive assholes, and I just didn't like them. But Roman's back. He does have a new voice actor because, unfortunately, his previous voice actor, I guess his original voice actor, I should say, did pass away due to, I believe, cancer. I do not remember his name off the top of my head, but he is credited in the credits as well as his current voice actor. Personally, I think his current voice actor did a good job. Obviously, it's not the same as the OG, and I don't think it could ever really compare, but I think he did well. And I think he kind of put his own spin on it, which was, in this case, probably the right thing to do here. That's my opinion, at least. And, from a in-universe standpoint, we could say, oh, well, it's been so long that Neo doesn't actually remember exactly what his voice sounds like, so maybe this is just kind of what she remembers, but I digress. And then all the lights in the house come on, and we see a table set up. And there's 6 people sitting at the table, and it's Penny, Pyrrha, Lionheart, Clover, Ozpin, and Ironwood. And yeah, they're all Neo clones that have been made to look like these people from Ruby's past. These people who have died. Whew. Goddamn. And, well, Roman walks over to the table and they basically just start tormenting Ruby. Like, there's really no other way to put it. That's all they're doing. They're just tearing into her, and what turns out, Neo doesn't want Ruby to die. She doesn't want to kill Ruby in revenge. She wants to make Ruby, well, ascend. She wants to make Ruby drink this tea she made from the leaves of the Ever After tree and make her ascend, which, I mean, is, yeah, still death in a manner of speaking. And, yeah, it's still death, when you think about it. And in this case, she wants to make Ruby do it herself. I don't need to go into details about what exactly that would mean. But of course, Neo ambushes Ruby and attacks her, and yeah, Ruby, it's not even a fair fight. Like, it's not only is it just Ruby versus Neo, a fight that Ruby has already lost previously, it's Ruby versus Neo versus a bunch of clones of people from her past that are all apparently using their own abilities. So, yeah, it's not good. And then we cut to the others, Weiss, Blake, Yang, and Jean, walking through the paper forest, I guess on the trail of Ruby or trying to find her. And Yang basically has a moment of, why did she run off like that? And Weiss tells her that RWBY was clearly going through a lot, and we just never realized it. We just never noticed, which I've talked about this before in previous reviews. They really did not notice it. They should have. I feel like it doesn't make much sense that they didn't notice it at all, or in the moments where they did notice it, like, they were always focused on something else too. And it was just, yeah, not a great situation for RWBY. But they hear the sounds of fighting in the distance, and they go to investigate it, and we come back to RWBY, yeah, who is, yeah, getting thrashed, honestly. And all of the different clones are just verbally tearing into RWBY. And I'm just going to say right now, the things they're saying are not true, but they're also not supposed to be. Like, they're the things that Neo wants these people from RWBY's past, people who have died from RWBY's past, to say to her, to hurt her as much as possible. That is what Neo wants. She wants to break and tear down RWBY as much as possible. And let me just say, fuck Neo, alright? Like, straight up, fuck Neapolitan. Don't care about her. Was never that big a fan of her in the first place. And at this point, yeah, I really hope she dies in this volume. And as we'll see in a bit, that seems like it either A, may have already happened, or B, will happen. But we'll get to that. But they beat down RWBY, her aura breaks and she falls to the ground after the Pyrrha clone throws her spear and basically has a chandelier land on top of her. But RWBY tries to go for a weapon and tries to keep fighting, but the Penny clone cuts her off from it and basically says, you know, again, the things Neo wants it to say to hurt her as much as possible, that RWBY was too late to save her, both in Vale during the tournament and in Atlas as well. And RWBY tries to go past her to get to her weapon, but then she's intercepted by Pyrrha again. And then Ironwood attacks her. And Ironwood has this moment where he says, I don't remember the exact line, but something like, you know, you can't save anyone or whatever. Like, fucking Ironwood wasn't failing to do the exact same thing. Like, again, I know these are clones, and these are like Neo making these puppets say these things to hurt RWBY, but realistically, did any of them do any better? Like, come on, when you think about it, like, a Lionheart joined Salem, Ozpin got murked by Cinder back in Vale, Ironwood failed to protect his kingdom, and no, that wasn't Team RWBY's fault, he would have failed regardless, because he lost his mind. But, again, I understand that it is from the standpoint of Neo is trying to hurt RWBY as much as possible, physically and mentally and emotionally, but, like, you know, the things she's saying are not true, and I'm just trying to defend my girl here. I really felt for RWBY in this scene, but that was the point. RWBY wanted to hurt us, and my god, did they succeed. Whew. But then Ozpin comes in with his cane and just starts wailing on RWBY, and that really hurt to watch. To see, like, Ozpin, who's always been this, when he had his own body, you know, like, be this mentor figure to RWBY and the others, and be this person that they could always go to for advice. Be the one to beat her down and basically tell her that she's not the hero. That hurt. It really did. But then, as the Ozpin clone is beating RWBY, RWBY manages to get her hands on Crescent Rose, and she lashes out and attacks him to protect herself, and once you know it, when she looks up, it's not Ozpin anymore, it's Oscar, and she's, like, cut him across the chest, and he falls to the ground, dead. Well, quote-unquote, dead. And, yeah, like, this whole thing is just Neo torturing RWBY. So, I'll say it, I've said it before, I'll say it again, fuck Neo, seriously. Don't give her a redemption arc, don't let her become one of the good guys, like, seriously. She deserves to die at this point. She has done so many awful things, not just to RWBY, but to so many other people, that she does not deserve redemption. Emerald at least showed some empathy and some regret for the bad things she was doing. Neo never did. Neo enjoyed every second of it. So, yeah, no, fuck Neo. Don't let her be redeemed. Also, as kind of a side note, I just want to say to everyone who said, man, I really hope we get to see Pyrrha come back in this volume in some way, congratulations. You got your wish. Now put the monkey's paw up, or so help me God. Anyway, getting back to it, after Neo makes RWBY kill the Oscar clone, RWBY just drops her weapon and breaks down as the other clones turn into her, well, currently alive friends. I believe it is Penny who turns into... Yeah, Penny turns into Yang, I believe. Clover turns into Crow. I don't remember who turns into Blake. Anyway, people turn into other people. And now all of her currently alive friends are kind of standing in a semicircle around her, around the dead body of Oscar, as Roman says that the whole world would be better off without you. Again, more of this gaslighting bullshit. And Neo appears out of nowhere with the teacup on a saucer and she places it down in front of her. But before Ruby can touch it or do anything, this beam of like very familiar energy that almost looks like a bunch of pixels like blasts Neo and sends her out of the house, and it blows outside of the house, and it's the cat. It's like, is the cat actually a good guy? Was Jean wrong about him? Is the cat here to save Ruby and help her? No! The cat's an asshole. Sorry, that was loud. The cat's an asshole. And he's more of an asshole than I think even Jean realized. The cat initially tells Ruby that it's going to be okay, that's going to be alright, that he knows it's hard, and he says, it's fine, I can just be you. This makes a very interesting turn to the opening scene where Alex becomes Ruby on the bridge. I talked about this, was it last episode, or I think it was episode 6, I talked about this, where Alex is standing on the bridge that Yang and Blake kissed and found their relationship on, but when she turns around, she turns into Ruby after a leaf from the tree flies across the screen. And I thought, oh, that means that Alex is going to try to become Ruby. Now I think that what that means is that the cat tried to take over Alex and tried to use her as a vessel to take himself to Remnant. But somehow Alex stopped him. Maybe she chose to ascend herself so that he wouldn't be taken back, and her little brother, I don't know if he's actually her little brother, but her brother Lewis could escape back to Remnant. That actually makes some sense, and it could have been the cat that talked Alex into misbelieving what Jean was doing or saying. Basically, they made her mistrust Jean. Maybe it wasn't actually the herbalist, I don't know, complete shot in the dark, but maybe that's why she poisoned Jean, and that's why the cat was watching, because the cat convinced her to do it, so that he could take her and her brother to the tree, and without Jean there to keep an eye on them, they would be more vulnerable, but clearly the cat did not manage to escape. Yeah, but like the cat plunges his paws into Ruby's chest and is trying to take her over, but before he can, Little bites him on the tail, and Little was following Ruby, because Little is a good boy. Little is a good friend, and he cares about Ruby, and he would do anything for Ruby. And the cat smacks Little away, and for that alone, honestly, the cat deserves to die. Like, not even taking into account everything else, just that. He deserves to die. But then Neo attacks the cat, fakes him out with a clone, and then smacks him away from Ruby. And then she puts a teacup in front of Ruby with the leaf and the tea in it. And Ruby looks at the teacup, and just then Jean, Weiss, Blake, Yang, and Juniper all come in through the hole that's been blasted in the side of the wall, and they see Ruby. And I gotta say, this is a huge pet peeve of mine when shows do this. And Ruby is absolutely guilty about doing it, where, like, characters will see a thing happening and won't do anything about it. Like, if they had just run in and Ruby was drinking the tea as they ran in, that would be one thing. But they ran in, stopped, and watched her drink the tea. Like, I can understand, you know, Weiss, Blake, and Yang not understanding what's going on here, and I'm sure Jean's never seen the leaves of the tree get turned into tea before, but you can see the leaf in the cup. You can see the leaf in the cup. You know what it is. Jean should have tried to run forward and smack it out of her hands or something. I really hate it when shows do that. It's such a pet peeve of mine. But, yeah, Ruby drinks the tea, and she is taken by the roots of the tree. And last episode, or last review, I said that in the case of the Paper Pleasers, them going to the tree, I didn't have an issue with that because it was their choice. This is not the same situation at all. Like, Ruby did not make the conscious personal decision in a clear frame of mind to drink the tea. She was beaten down by everything that had happened up till now, and then literally beaten physically and mentally and emotionally by Neo to the point that she just broke, basically, and drank the tea because she literally said, I don't want to be me anymore. She doesn't want to be Ruby anymore. So again, fuck Neo. And I will say that makes what happens next a little less terrifying for me, but still pretty damn scary. After Ruby drinks the tea, we, I guess, cut to Neo, and Neo's just kind of sitting there watching everything, and she has this, like, vacant look on her expression, and Roman says, great job, you killed Ruby, now we can take over this fairy tale world, and she shakes her head no, like, oh, don't tell me all you wanted was to kill Ruby, and no, don't do that. Do not try to make Neo a sympathetic character at this point. Don't. Neo is a bad, cruel individual. She deserves every bad thing that happens to her. Do not try to make her repentant or something, because that would suck. Anyway, Ruby is gone, and the hole she fell in now has a curtain of vines or roots over it. And John pulls his sword on the cat and demands that it tells them where Ruby is, how to get to her. The cat basically says you can't, that it's not a place you can go to, it's a place you know, or something like that. So I would guess that the journey to the tree is not a physical journey one can make. They somehow have to choose to go to the tree, so I'm thinking, I don't know for sure, this is a guess, that the others will choose to drink whatever's left of the tea, specifically so that the tree will take them, and they can go after Ruby to get her back. Again, there's only one way to know for sure. That's my guess. But either way, the cat realizes that there's another vessel for him to take, and it's Neo, because after Neo killed Ruby, she's empty. She's, I guess, without purpose. So the cat blasts a basically mega laser at everyone else and smacks them against the wall, and he rushes towards Neo as they're all stunned, basically. And he grows bigger, and he turns, instead of from his normal kind of white purple and blue color scheme, to a more of a, I believe, white and black color scheme. And he basically says that, she's an empty vessel, perfect for him. And then he enters her body. There's no way to say that doesn't sound weird. He literally bores himself into her. There's no other way to put it. He, crawls through her mouth and takes her over. And I gotta say, that was some pretty perfect comeuppance for Neo. Congratulations. You got what you wanted. Your revenge. Now it's left you empty, hollow, and vulnerable to attack from a demon cat. You get what you fucking deserve. But yeah, the cat has full-on possessed Neo, and now has all of Neo's powers. So, Neo's control of her semblance, her semblance, with how it affects the Ever After, combined with the cat's abilities to take people over, basically, and control their hearts and shit. Yeah, that's not good at all. And John did try to run and grab the cat before it could take over Neo, not because they cared about Neo, I'm sure, but because he wanted to stop the cat from becoming even more powerful. But he does not get there in time, and I really hope they ease up on John in Volume 10. I really do. He has earned a break. Ruby's earned a break. They've all earned a break. Let Volume 10 be easier. I'm not asking for everything to be a walk in the park, but they've earned a victory and then some. And I'm really not sure what else to say, honestly. Yeah, the cat takes over Neo and flies off with Neo, and I believe he's going to the tree, because that's how one can get back to Remnant, and that's what he wants. He wants to go to Remnant. He wants to find the, I assume, Brother Gods. Because earlier, when he was trying to take over Ruby, he mentioned how they made him and made the Ever After and then abandoned it. So he wants to find them and perhaps get his revenge back. So now I'm wondering if he's not going to try to go to Remnant, and if he does get there, meet Salem, and then they'll team up to summon the gods, albeit for very different reasons. I don't know. I don't see the cat making it out of this volume. I don't see him making it to Remnant. I don't think it's going to happen. There's really only one way to find out. But either way, fuck Neo. Do not let her be redeemed at all. She doesn't deserve it. It is not something that should happen. She made her bed, and it's time for her to lie in it. It is time for her to get her comeuppance. I mean, when you think about everything she's done, played a pretty big role in the fall of Vale, or at least the fall of Beacon, and the attack on Vale, helped Cinder and Salem get their hands on the Relic of Knowledge, helped bring down Atlas too, and stop Ruby's message from getting out. By giving the Relic of Knowledge to Cinder, let Cinder learn of their plans to evacuate both cities, which resulted in Cinder screwing everything up, and thus everyone, including Neo, landing in the Ever After. So yeah, don't redeem Neo, Ruby. She doesn't deserve it. And if there's a Neo simp listening to this and you want her to be redeemed, I'm sorry. I disagree with you so much. She does not deserve it, but I'm not going to try to change your mind. To each their own. I get it. She's like a hot, short stack ice cream lady. I understand, but fuck Neo. Yeah, that's my review. I decided to do this one just very off the cuff. Just pure what I thought about everything in that moment, my emotions about it, because this episode hurt. I thought episode 7 was bad, but no. No, this one earned the disclaimer at the beginning of the episode and then some. Honestly, I feel like we may have needed a bit of a stronger disclaimer, more than just, hey, there might be some kind of disturbing images, like, hey, someone kind of kills themselves here, technically speaking. So yeah, I said it before, I'll say it again. If you're feeling down and you're just feeling hurt and lost, I'm not a psychologist. I can't give you life advice on how to feel better, but I can say just know that it does get better. And you shouldn't let these things stop you from being yourself and living your life. You've got friends, you've got people out there who care about you. So, yeah, that actually kind of leads pretty well into my little outro bit. You know, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and never forget to keep moving forward. Also, can't believe I forgot to actually talk about this when it happened, but Neo killed Little. She stepped on him and crushed him with her boot. Fuck Neo. Seriously. I know I've said that so many times, but I'm gonna keep saying it. Fuck Neapolitan. Little deserve better, man. Fuck. Yep, that's all for me. Bye, guys.